Hi, and welcome to Math 163. My name's Matt Lewis, and I'm really excited to be your instructor this quarter. Before we go any further with the introductory video, I would like to start with something that is important in academia, which is giving acknowledgments. So if I was to write a paper and I reference others' ideas, it's important that I acknowledge where those ideas came from. So I'd like to start with another type of acknowledgement here before we begin. So I'd like to take a moment and reflect on the lands on which we reside, the ancestral homelands and traditional territories of the people of the Yakama Nation. We acknowledge and honor the Yakama people. We also acknowledge that this country would not exist if it wasn't for the free enslaved labor of Black people. We honor the legacy of the African diaspora and Black life, knowledge, and skills stolen due to violence and white supremacy. Please join me in a moment of silence in honor of Black and Indigenous ancestors who have passed and who have paved the way for us. Thank you very much. All right, so in this video, I just really want to welcome you to the class and orient you to how the class is going to work online. So I trust that some of the things that I'll be doing are similar to what you experienced in Calculus 1 and Calculus 2, but some things may be different as well. And I know a fair number of you, I recognize your names from taking some of my pre-calculus classes before. So that'll be nice to see you all again. And for those of you who I haven't had before, I look forward to getting to know you. So let me start by sharing my screen. So I am going to use Canvas as kind of our main page that we're going to work off of. However, in terms of actually doing homework and things like that, we are going to use WebAssign. So my understanding is that most, if not all of you, would have used WebAssign last quarter probably in your Calculus 2 class. For me, it'll just be a matter of adding my class to your account. If any of you, however, are in a position where maybe you've had a few quarters between calculus classes and you don't have a WebAssign account at this point, just let me know. If you need any support at all, I'm getting that set up. I'd be happy to help with that. So on our course page here, we're going to begin up at the top with this little getting started block. So when you click on this link here, it'll take you to a page that basically has things that I want you to start out by doing. And I'll just, why not? I'll go ahead and show this to you. So you're going to watch this video, which is kind of a silly thing to put here, but in case someone stumbled onto the Canvas page and hadn't done that yet, I put that as number one. The second thing you're going to do is print out this test taking agreement, either the Word doc or the PDF, and you're going to either sign it and take a picture and send it back to me, or it's okay if you type your name into the spot. But basically, this is just kind of laying out the ground rules for when we take tests. This is what's acceptable. This is what's not, and then you're just signing, agreeing to those terms. And then what I would like is, because some of you I know and some of you I don't, I'd like you to start by posting your responses to some prompts that I give in a little forum post. And I'll go ahead and show you where that's at, which is here in this little survey. And so it's just some questions that I would, like you to answer. These just 5 questions. It won't take you too long. I've kind of given a sample response. And so when you respond to this, click on reply up here to these questions, and then you can type out your answers. And then I encourage you, as fellow classmates respond, I encourage you to respond back to them if they write something interesting. I think it'd be nice to kind of respond, So here I talk about, I like I like snowboarding, right? So if you like snowboarding too, you can say so. Um, and I'll be looking through all of your responses as well. Because one of the things that I do ask, toward the end is if you have any questions or concerns about the class, I'll definitely be looking through and seeing if there's anything that I can answer in that sense. All right, and then we have the syllabus, and I'm not going to go through this now in the video. What I will say is this, though, is in the syllabus, you will find the class key for my class. So on WebAssign, when you get into your account, this is what you need to type in order to be signed up for my class. Okay, I'll let you read through the rest of the syllabus, and all the class policies and things like that. A lot of it I'm going to just be explaining verbally right now, but do take a read through and let me know if you have questions. But take a note of this code right here. All right, now in this course, I want this to be as interactive as possible. I want you to feel supported throughout the entire course. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up some things that are going to happen on a daily basis that you can take advantage of. So one of the things that I'm going to do every single day is to conduct a daily Zoom meeting, and it'll be an hour long. Now, it is not required that you go to this Zoom meeting. However, it'll be good for sure if you are able to make it. You think of it kind of like maybe it'll be kind of part study session, right? Sometimes I'll just be kind of talking more in depth about concepts that we cover in class. You're going to be learning the material through videos, and so there might be a way that I explain something in a video that doesn't quite cut it for you, and so that's an opportunity to say, hey, can you explain this a different way? And then of course we can go through homework questions and things like that. So it's completely voluntary, but what I've really tried to do is to hold this Zoom meeting at various times during the week, so that regardless of what your schedule considerations are, you can at least make one or two of them during the week. And I'm also every day going to have an office hour. And so that's a little bit different than the Zoom meeting, because the Zoom meeting is just our class, right? So only people in Math 163 are going to show up there. So we'll all be on the same page. My office hour is more that traditional time where I'll have students popping in from potentially various classes, and that'll be a little bit more individualized. So what I might tend to do in that scenario is, put you in a breakout room on Zoom and, say, okay, work on this for a minute while I go help this other person. So it's just kind of a different dynamic, but it's more maybe individualized attention. Both of those things, the daily Zoom meeting and the office hour, are both you get to with this same link. So you just click on this and it takes you right there. And then there's Math Care for All. So that's the online math center. And so, which I'm sure you're aware of, but it's a really great place to get assistance, especially if it's time that I'm not available. And so just click on that, takes you to the room where someone is there to basically ask you what you need help with, and then they get you set up with an instructor or a tutor. Okay. I think at this point, let me go ahead and go to our calendar. So the calendar is where you're going to be able to see when all of these things I'm describing are. So here you have it. And here's how to kind of parse through all this. The very top of every one of these blocks is telling you what section you should be working on that day, to just make sure that you're not falling behind. So you can see section 8.1, I'm giving you these 2 days to be kind of working on learning that material and doing the homework for that material. Then I indicate when my office hour is and when the Zoom meeting is on each day. So you can see it varies a lot. So let me take week 2. That's a nice full week here. So my Zoom meeting is at 9 a.m. on Mondays and Fridays. It's at from 1 to 2 on Tuesdays and on Thursdays. And then it's from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Wednesdays. So I try to make myself available one of the evenings during the week. So that's when our class Zoom meeting is, when we're all gathering together, for those who can, and we discuss homework, content, things like that from the class. Again, it's voluntary, but I encourage you to do it when you can. And then my office hour, 10 a.m. on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and at 9 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then the last thing you'll see on the calendar is when assignments are actually due. So these assignments, so like when you see section 8.1 due, that means section 8.1 homework from WebAssign. Now, if you click on this thing, it's not really going to take you anywhere special, but this is just an indicator on the calendar that, hey, make sure you have it done by then. And the way it works is you need to have it done by midnight that night. There is another type of assignment, and that is the handout assignment, which I will show you when I go back to the main course page. But that, when you see handout 1 due, that's just another type of assignment that's different from what you're being asked to do on WebAssign. So with this calendar, just check it every single day. The one other thing I would say about office hours is that I have 1 hour that I've set aside each day, but if that's time that doesn't work for you and you need to meet with me, then by all means, we'll find a time where you're available. So you just need to send me a message on Canvas or an email asking if we can get together at a different time, and I'll be happy to find a time to make that happen. And in such a case, you just use this exact same link right here. Just use the same office hour link, even if we're meeting at a different time. So underneath the Zoom links here, I also provide a link to WebAssign. So if I click on that, you can see here where you can enter the class key that I talked about in the syllabus. Now, I'm really kicking myself because I realized that I screwed up when I set up the class, in that I had it start on Monday. And the problem with that is WebAssign's very picky. And because I started the class on Monday, it won't show me any of the assignments. This is where you're going to find them. Say My Assignments, and just click on them. It won't show them to me until the class technically starts. And WebAssign does not allow you to, fix that error after you've already created the class. So I'm annoyed about it, and I wish I would have done it differently. But and the reason is because I wanted to walk you through, what the homework looks like for you. I know that you've used WebAssign in the past, most likely. However, your other instructor may not have used it the same way. So unfortunately, I can't show it to you exactly as you'll see it, but let me at least do this. Go ahead and just open up. Let's open up this one here. So this is not exactly the way it looks for you. This is kind of my instructor view here. But let me just explain how my homework works. When you are given a problem, you get 3 attempts at the question, right? So I could put in an answer here and another answer and another answer, and I could submit it 3 times. On the 3rd submission, it's going to make this down here available to you, this the kind of more detailed solution. You'll be able to take a look at it, and it'll kind of say in detail what, a solution to the problem. This can be really handy, but I want to caution you that there's a couple things that happen with these. One thing is that sometimes they skip a lot of detail, and that can be kind of frustrating. So if it really, you're like, how in the world do they get from one step to the next? And definitely ask me about that, because sometimes they do skip a lot of detail. And then the other thing to understand is, the way they do it might not be the only way. So, there's been times where I've looked at these and thought, I would have done that a lot differently, So, just take it with a grain of salt. But I think overall, you'll be helped by it. And then what I would say here is that, sorry, this thing out of the way, what it's doing. The other thing that I would say is that after it shows you a solution, it's not over. You can then attempt a different question at that point. So there's no reason why you can't, have 100% at the end of the day on your homework. So, so just know that, if you're willing to keep at it, there's no reason to lose any points. Okay, sorry, let me get that other web page back. And so here we go. So back to our page here. Below the WebAssign link is where you're going to see video lessons. Now, right now, there's only 3 of them, and that's just because I don't want this area to become just this, huge list of videos. But there's going to be videos for every single section, and I'll add to them as we go. And I'll hit. Let me just hit this section 8.1. Okay, and and I have the, I don't have my volume piping through to Zoom right now, so don't worry about the fact that you can't hear things at the moment. But here's what I want to emphasize here. I am going to provide you with the notes that you see on this screen. And I'll show you where that is in a second, but you'll have all these notes. And so you're essentially filling in the notes as you watch these videos. Now, you will notice this video is pretty long. If I kind of put these videos together quickly in the spring, and, if I was kind of thinking it through a little bit more, I would have made more short videos, but I didn't. So what I would suggest is definitely taking breaks here. 57 straight minutes is a really long time to just sit and take notes and things. So, so maybe don't always do it in a single sitting. So you go through and you watch these videos, and the notes that you are taking notes on that go along with these videos, you find down here. Okay. So there's a couple things that you can do. Okay. You can just print out all the notes at once if you have access to a printer. So if you click on this document here, what you're going to find is, I think it's 146 pages, and that's the notes for the entire class. So if you have access to a good printer, that's the best way to go, is to print all those out. If you don't want to print them all out at once, then I do break it into kind of bite-sized chunks. So instead of the whole class notes, I can give you a section at a time as well. Okay, and those are all in PDF form. If you really have trouble getting a hold of a printer, then you can take notes on notebook paper, but just know that in PDF form here is the notes that will be going through in those videos. And then down here is the video archive. So this is where all the videos are. So if you get like way ahead of the class and I haven't put the video up top yet, it's just down here, so you can still find it. And then also, after we've passed a particular section, I will put that back down in the video archive. So let's say in a couple weeks, long after we finish section 8.1, you think, okay, I kind of want to go watch that again, getting ready for the test or whatever. And so you'll just find that at the very bottom of the page of the video archives. All right. Sorry, I'm going to go a little out of order here. I'm going to come back to this last, but then in the calendar, you saw me talk about handout assignments. So handout assignments are just these problems that I hand out. Some of them are just from the textbook. Others are ones that I write out here. And these are just ones that you do on paper. And then you take pictures of your work and you upload it. and the place you uploaded is just right underneath of the assignment itself. So you just click here, click submit assignment, and you can attach files, and you can add as many files as you want. So like if you are someone who likes to take pictures of each individual page and upload each picture from your phone, that's fine. You can just attach a file here, then add another, right? Or, you know, I'll admit as an instructor, it's really nice when if you have one of those apps that collapses all your pictures into a single PDF. So if you can do that, that's great. And then you can just put that entire document just in one of these and then hit submit assignment. And so those are going to, you know, kind of your traditional paper homework. And so I'm going to be grading those and then sending them back to you. And again, you know when those are due, and you know when the WebAssign homework is due by following the calendar, right? So just checking the calendar each day. All right, so the last thing is we will in this class start looking at 3D graphs. And so to help you visualize what we're doing in 3 dimensions, there's a couple of programs that we'll make use of. The user-friendly one is this one, the David Lippman 3D Grapher. I'll just go ahead and show this to you. So this is really cool. So you can like, you know, so if I wanted to just make something like this, then here's my nice 3D shape, and I can move it all around and look at it in various ways. So we're going to be doing stuff like this later, and so to use some technology to help you visualize things is going to be really nice. Now, CoCalc is the other one. I doubt that we're going to do much with this. You'll see me work with it a little bit in the videos, but don't really worry too much about that. It's a lot less user-friendly. If I was going to be teaching you all in Calc 4 next quarter, we'd probably work on it because it's really helpful in Calc 4. But since you're using you're going to be using other programs because you'll be with a different instructor, it's probably not worth us taking too much time on it. So I have it here, but really you're pretty much going to use the David Lippman 3D Grapher. One last thing I almost forgot is then talk about exams. Okay, so there's not much to tell at the moment, right? Right now I just have a little block, and this is where exams are going to go. You don't see anything there yet. I'll record a different video in a week or, you know, maybe 2 weeks from now as we get closer to our first exam that describes the procedure for taking tests and all that. So I'm not going to go into any detail, but just know we are going to, you know, we're going to take tests kind of like you would in a normal face-to-face math class. And so there'll be a test on here, and you're going to be writing down all your work, and then you're going to take pictures of your work and upload those, kind of like with the handout assignments. So, so just know that information on that is forthcoming, but I just don't want to muddle it up right now because you got enough to think about just kind of get started in the class. All right, well, those are the main things to kind of get you started on the class. What I want to say is that, you know, this week, you know, we're going to have various Zoom meetings starting on Tuesday. And if you can make one of those, that would be great, just so we can touch base and kind of see what those Zoom meetings are going to be like. Again, they're voluntary, but if you can come, that would be great sometime in this first week. And then the other thing I would say is, even though I don't have office hours scheduled on Monday, I'm going to be available at various times during the day. So if you have any questions at all, just go ahead and reach out to me, and I'll schedule a time with you. But I didn't schedule anything that day just because, you know, some people are going to be watching this video on Monday. So I just didn't want to schedule anything in particular. All right, well, I really look forward to working with you all, and look forward to seeing your forum posts, and we'll talk to you soon.